Yeah, a lot on streaming. Not as much in theaters, but let's start it there anyway with the what we're watching, with the biggest release of the weekend being a superhero movie of sorts. Do we get to call this one a superhero movie, or is it just a comic book movie because it is based on a DC property? More specifically, let's talk about DC's League of Super Pets, a property that I didn't know about prior to the announcement of the feature film starring a lot of very famous people, highlighted by The Rock and Kevin Hart. Art, first of all, did you know about this property before they decided to adapt it? And secondly, how do you think it translates to the big screen?
I'm aware of the Super Pets. I know Crypto. It's all right. It's more way to make DC content, I guess, out there in terms of animation. If there's, between the two, Marvel and DC has had what? CW shows with The Flash barely ending, as it was announced recently. They have the Harley Quinn show, which we recommended last week. I recommend again this week. They just know how to divide all of the content that they have into different markets, and this makes sense. If a lot of their features have gotten pretty dark, in my opinion, unless you're doing Wonder Woman or you're doing, I guess, whatever Black Adam is going to be, they need something really for the kids, right? Something that's not going to be so grim and grayed out. And I think DC Super Pets kind of lives up to that. I enjoyed it for what it was. I would give it a rented. Yeah. I am on the side that when we get so many actors doing voice recordings, you really do end up with nothing more than an imitation of what they're already known for. There are a lot of actors in this that I think do a good job. But it definitely sounds like them in a booth. And even more than that, this is a COVID movie where they weren't really seeing each other. So it's not just them in a booth. It's them in a closet, Skyping in for whatever the next thing's going to be. It was good for what it is. The premise here is that you're following Krypto the dog, who is Superman's dog. When everything got destroyed, he was the one pet who his parents sent out with him so that he would keep him company. But then Superman's getting married. And if Superman's getting married, who's going to pay attention to the dog, right? The flip being, though, is that there is a serum that's out there that's going to cause all of the animals out there to have superpowers, except the one superpowered dog that we know, Krypto. Kevin Hart and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson have a shtick that they do. I think it works a little bit better when they're in person. They're able to play off of the physical comedy a lot more, but
right.
A lot of the jokes are still there for what it's supposed to be. I will say the ones that stood out to me the most, Kate McKinnon plays Lulu, who's supposed to be like the evil guinea pig or whatever it was that she was going as in the movie. It's Vanessa Bayer in the movie. She plays this pig, I want to say, practically. Yeah. She goes by PB. She's obsessed with Wonder Woman. Just some of the lines that she brings in, I thought were hilarious. And then I heard her talking about her doing some of the audio work and that they allowed her to improv. So then they'd be able to animate around her. Yeah, that stuff really works. Natasha Lyonne does something in this movie I don't want to spoil, but it is Natasha Lyonne voicing whatever DC super pet they gave her, right? It is her entire attitude, to the point that they were making some jokes that Spy Kids did a shiitake joke back in the day. I guess this is the new updated version for today's kids. And then Diego Luna, who plays Chip in the movie. Decent cast doing a lot of the voice work. Again, these two being the main leads. In a world where they're able to take a lot of the DC iconography, a lot of the DC characters, play with them. There's an after-credits sequence that happens in this movie that is the snake eating its own tail. I know you didn't catch it, Zach, but I don't think you would care for it, or are even looking forward to this other upcoming DC property that's on the horizon. But overall, out of a lot of the movies that we've gotten this past year, it definitely feels like a good Illumination movie. I almost felt like you were about to say Secret Life of Pets, which is what I continue to call this, DC Super Life of Pets. But they did do something cute at the ending. You usually see the production babies in Pixar movies. They had production pets in this one. I thought that was the most adorable thing in the film.
That's sweet.
If you've got kids, it's not a bad movie to go catch in theaters.
Yeah, there's enough there that you don't think the parents or the older brothers and sisters will be pulling their hair out or just waiting for the runtime to end. It's cute enough, or at least maybe you can just spend the runtime doing what I know I would do and try to play who's that voice with this voice cast.
Yeah, that's what I played. Yeah. So, not a bad movie. Definitely not a bad movie. There you go. So, DC League of Super Pets.